Well, we've got a ton of playoff action in this episode, so let's get started. So after a long break from the regular season, the Raiders would look more than ready to tip off at home for the Division I South first-round matchup with the Bridgewater Raynham Trojans. Earning the number 5 seed in a spectacular 18-2 season took a lot of effort and unselfish teamwork for this Raider team to get here. With the Raiders wanting even more and a packed crowd of Raiders fans ready to cheer them on, visiting Trojans would learn firsthand just how dominating defense is. Halfway through the first quarter, Bridgewater Raynham is only down 9-4 after Leo Sperling nails a perimeter shot in the corner. But that doesn't last long as Wellesley starts to kick it into high gear in transition. Off a Leo Sperling pass, Emily Cronin takes the contact and still makes the basket. Emily Cronin would then swing it out to an open Leo Sperling. Sperling would drain it. And Wellesley would end up owning this opening quarter, leading 16-4 as we head into the second. So the second quarter opens up and Raiders still have not let up that intensity, getting 6 quick points. And as that team defense takes advantage of some Trojans' mistakes, the Trojans also help out, creating some turnovers of their own. Watch here as Kelly Page is too strong on the inbound pass. Katie Williamson doesn't hesitate, taking the loose ball, banks it in. Seconds after that, Leo Sperling disrupts his pass, and Sperling connects on another 2 points in transition, as Wellesley keeps running all over Trojans' defense, or lack thereof. And again, Raiders build a double-digit lead that forces a timeout by Bridgewater Raynham. 22-11 is the score. Closing out this fast-paced second, the Raiders would easily take a halftime lead of 29-13. Looking to make any adjustments and somehow create positive points to chip away at this 16-point deficit, Bridgewater Raynham looks to their captains. And a quick 3 here by Jessica Town helps, and on this fast break, Kelly Page's bounce pass finds Elise McGovern. McGovern steps back and sinks in another tray, and within just a few seconds, that Wellesley lead is now 10. And so Raiders take a timeout this time. But the Raiders always seem to find ways to make any opponent's momentum disappear. And right here, off a Katie Williamson miss, Emma Ivy brings down the offensive rebound and finishes it with the putback, and Wellesley 31-19 advantage. That would help Raiders switch back the control here, as a 16-2 run in this third is sparked by Leo Sperling and Dorian Cohen, and finished by great points off this deep bench. As Kelsey Zarrow with the perfect pass dishes it ahead to Nicole Beckett, whose basket gives Wellesley the largest lead of the night so far at 20. Minutes later, though, Kelsey Zarrow again finds Nicole Beckett, and again, Beckett with a sweet finish, and change that to now the biggest lead here, as Wellesley is just dominating this game. Brooke Guifrey, then behind the three-point arc, fakes it and drives to the lane instead, and with a great move, finishes with a fantastic layup. And with one more quarter to go, Raiders are in command here, 45-21. Quick points here by Caroline Sullivan and then Leo Sperling in this fourth would help solidify this big lead. And Bridgewater Raynham has no chance of erasing this deficit. In the first few minutes of this game, the Trojans held a 2-point lead, but turning over the ball 22 times for 16 Raiders points quickly smashed any hopes of a comeback for Bridgewater Raynham. Wellesley easily rolls over the Trojans, and once again have many players in the scoring column, as Leo Sperling's 16 points would help lead the team, along with 13 by Dorian Cohen. And Wellesley moves on to the quarterfinals, as this time they will be on the road, fighting for that upset as they face the number 4 seed, Attleboro. Well, the hockey seedings would finally be set for the boys, as the Raiders would be facing a tough team in the number 4 seed, Franklin Panthers. Without question ending their regular season struggling to find wins, Wellesley, as the 13th seed, got a chance to rest up for almost 2 weeks before tourney action would begin. And so here on Wednesday at Loring Arena in Framingham, this Raider team looks fast, intense, and ready to fight for an upset, as this Division I South first-round match finally faces off. Hard hits would come in this game already in the opening period, as you can just tell it's the playoffs here on the ice. So the Panthers strike first on this breakaway as Adam Assad dekes and buries the backhander into the net. Just like that, Franklin is up 1-0. Early into the second we go, Franklin still has the 1-goal advantage. But looking for more, they get it here as Luke Downey, while falling down, somehow still lasers it stick side. And it's an outstanding effort and score there for sure by Luke Downey. Fortunately, that puts the deficit to 2 goals for Wellesley. But if you think that 2-0 Franklin lead would be the dagger here for Wellesley, well, think again. The fight you see in this team the next period and a half is just incredible. As Wellesley looks to keep Franklin's scoring in check, the post thankfully helps out here twice actually on this Jeremy Miller wrister try. So with the score still 2-0 Panthers on this defensive end faceoff, Zach Doughty collects the loose puck and with speed and with a ton of determination, gets past Panthers defenders, just buries it past Nicholas Duzinski. What a clutch goal by Zach Doughty, as that's exactly what these Raiders needed, just the right time. And we've got a game here, for sure. In this third, to say this period is intense, well, that would clearly be an understatement. As the Raiders, desperate to force this game into overtime, harass Nicholas Duzinski with shot after shot. On this fantastic sprawling Andrew Johnston save here, Franklin gets called for a penalty after a defensive wall of Raiders makes sure Franklin does not get a second chance on a loose puck. So a late shoving call results in a key Raiders power play right here. Unbelievable as these next 3 minutes keep you on the edge of your seat. Carter Huff with the try, Duzinski with the stuff. Carter Huff then to Owen O'Connor, no good. Nathan Brown's wrister, denied. Then with under 20 seconds to go, so close. But unfortunately, no score. And somehow, some way, Franklin pulls away with the victory. Extremely tough for these Raiders as they fought so hard and made a number 4 seed have to play like the number 1 instead. All game, just to barely escape with a final 2-1 win. It was an impressive fight by Wellesley that, in the end, fell just short. It would be a season to be proud of, especially for the 7 seniors who made an undeniable impact, not just in this season, but the 4 years they got that chance to play in a Raiders uniform. Thank you to Andrew Johnston, David Rourke, Sean Cox, Billy Garante, Griffin Morgan, Kevin Ward, and Carter Huff for the awesome memories we were all fortunate to watch. Final here, Franklin 2, Wellesley 1. So after easily taking care of Bridgewater Raynham, the Raiders girls basketball team would be on the road to take on the number 4 seed, the 21-2 Attleboro Bombardiers. Wellesley, coming in as the number 5 seed at 19-2, are definitely not the underdogs here. And this team is definitely not intimidated facing this Attleboro team on their own home court, as this Division I South quarterfinals gets underway. Captain obvious here, but Raiders offense is just on fire in these key opening minutes here in the first. Emily Cronin wastes no time draining the baseline J, and then Emma Ivy nails it from downtown. After a hard-fought offensive rebound by Emma Ivy gets the ball to Dorian Cohen, Cohen finds herself open and banks it in, and Wellesley's 9-0 run to start this opening quarter, without question, sets the tone. No surprise as Raiders' defense is in top form yet again. That stifling D creates points on the other end as Leo Sperling dishes it to Dorian Cohen for the nice finish. And after Attleboro's 1,000-point scorer Emily Holt sinks in this tray, the first goes to Wellesley with an 11-5 lead. And after a very defensive turnover-riddled second goes by with a 15-10 halftime advantage for the Raiders, we open up this fast-paced third. Right away, Katie Williamson in transition finds herself free inside the paint and banks in an important 2 points here as Attleboro kicks in a 6-0 run, and it gets kickstarted right here on a great up and under move by Sarah Deo, who finishes with the basket. And then Emma Vlashy takes the Emily Holt bounce pass and drains it baseline. Suddenly, Wellesley is only up 17-16. After a much-needed Dorian Cohen shot makes it 19-16 Wellesley, Emma Vlashy again drives in the paint, and once again, 1 point is all that stands between these two teams. That is until Emily Cronin changes it. Kelsey Zarro swings it ahead and Cronin drains the jumper, 21-18 Raiders, and we've got a timeout on the floor. With just over a minute left to play in this third, Raiders would make the key shots here. As Caroline Sullivan, deep 2, no problem. Then off a missed 3, Emily Cronin sneaks into the paint, crashing the boards, banks in the clutch putback. And that is the end of the third, as Raiders have that same momentum like they did in the first. With 1 quarter left, Raiders lead 25-20. Kelsey Zarro would be that spark off the bench here in this fourth, draining a deep tray. And then without hesitation driving to the hoop, Zarro sinks in the floater, and it's 30-23 Wellesley. And just when Wellesley is looking for more to widen the lead, who's there but Emily Cronin? As this 3 rolls out, hits glass, and falls in. And Raiders have their largest lead of the night, 33-23. And this game is quickly slipping away from Attleboro. Junior Saradeo would be the only bright spot here for Attleboro, as this bucket still keeps them in the game somewhat, now down 35-27. But again, their 1,000-point scorer in Emily Hull can't do anything, as Emily Cronin's suffocating defense holds hold to one field goal in the second half and forces shots like this well short. It's hard to come back when your star player is single-handedly taken out of the game by in-your-face defense. Or should I say, defense. Kelsey Zarl then, with a wide-open lane to the hoop, banks in two more with that basket. This game starts to pull away even further, as Zarl in this fourth quarter is just huge. Wellesley once again leads by 10, 37-27. When you're trying to come back from a deficit, this fast break uncontested layup by Saradeo that she point-blank misses is huge, as it could have cut that deficit to single digits again. But instead, Kelsey Zarl scores her 10th point of the quarter on this deep downtown dagger. Did I mention again how key she was off the bench? And with just over a minute left to play, Attleboro is down 40-30. And I think it's safe to say this game is officially over. So the last few seconds of this fourth finally tick away, and Raiders on the road out-hustle, outplay, and defense dominated once again. Raiders from the opening first 2 points scored never gave up their lead all game. That is impressive in itself. Behind 11 points and 8 rebounds by Emily Cronin and Kelsey Zarl's 10 points off the bench, it's on to the next game. To the semifinals we go. Bring on Braintree, as it's a final here. Band of Sisters 43, Attleboro 32. So after waiting the longest for their own first round action, girls hockey would finally get their chance to shine at home as they face the Leominster St. Bernard Blue Devils. With this Raider team clearly focused on this one game and one game only, any hopes that Leominster may have had of coming away with an upset would be quickly crushed. Looking to clear out the puck, instead Kat Donahue from her knees deflects the puck back in. And Hannah McDougall in the attacking zone takes the puck and sinks it bar down. And the freshman puts the Raiders on the board first with a sweet goal. Less than 2 minutes later, that 1-0 edge would quickly change as Carly Boyle, crashing the boards, feeds it back outside to Danny Hickman. Hickman from the high slot rips a slap shot and just buries it. Suddenly, Wellesley holds a 2-0 advantage over the Blue Devils. Leominster would get some great opportunities here as we close out this opening period, but Alyssa Samino in net denies it, and Carly Boyle makes sure the only thing going into the net is a Leominster player. That would result in a power play for the Blue Devils, but nothing comes out of it as the Raiders dominate on the PK. So into the second, and 2 perfect chances come here yet again for Blue Devils. But both times, Katie Babineau misses point-blank shots. And so with just around 8 minutes to go in this second, the Raiders finally get to go on their power play. With about 20 seconds left on that man-up advantage, Danny Hickman centers it to Carly Boyle. Boyle's wrister through traffic finds net. And with that shot and celebration on point by Boyle, the Raiders now have a commanding 3-0 lead in what has been a defensive battle so far. It would continue to be a rough night here for Katie Babineau. Off this quick steal and some crazy dekes, Babineau one-on-one loses to Samino as Wellesley continues to shut them out. So Raiders deep in this third on yet another penalty kill, this time facing a 5-on-3 disadvantage. If there's a time to act for Leominster, it's now. But instead pushing after the whistle occurs by number 19, who's actually not on the roster. Maybe to serve as a distraction so nobody sees Christy Anderson hit Kat Donahue, then kick her in the leg? In case you missed it, here's the kick again. For all the penalties that were called in this game, unfortunately the refs missed that one. With no penalty for that kick, you just really want this game to end before someone really gets hurt. So as we fast forward to the end of this final period, it's the Raiders who shut out Leominster St. Bernard to the final 3-0. There were a lot of hits, flops, penalties, and non-calls. But in the end, what's most important is it's 1 down, 3 more to go. The fun's just getting started here, as Wellesley's defense dominated from the very start, as Alyssa Samino gets yet another shutout. And also not to be outdone, the offense looked great despite the long time off. The final here, Raiders 3, Blue Devils 0. Well, even though boys hockey has officially ended, we still have highlights to come for girls basketball and hockey in the MIAA playoffs. So stay right here with Wellesley Media as we keep you covered for all Raiders sports. Catch up on all games and highlights on demand at wellesleymedia.org, our YouTube and Facebook pages at Wellesley Public Media, right here on Comcast 9 and Verizon 39.